Welcome to Storytime with Ms.Literacy. Thanks to our Save the Children grant, we're going to give Pickin Peas, the book, to second graders, and you're going to hear it today. Parents, teachers, children, you're going to enjoy learning with Ms.Literacy. All right, we're reading Pickin Peas by Margaret READ MacDonald. Shout out to Margaret READ MacDonald. And pictures by Pat Cummings. Let's go inside. Little girl planted a garden of peas. Come July, those peas got ripe and ready to eat. Little girl went out in that garden, started going down the row, picking peas and singing that song. Picking peas, putting them in my pail. Picking peas, putting them in my pail. Just picking off the biggest ones and let the little bitty ones grow some more. A pesky rabbit lived down in the holler. He jumped in the row behind her, started hopping along, eating her peas and singing. Picking peas, land on my knees. Picking peas, land on my knees. Now every time he'd sing, he'd give a jump, and he'd land on his knees every time. He came down that row, eating up all the peas little girl left behind. Mr. Rabbit was moving along just one row behind little girl. When she turned the corner at the east end of the garden and start down a row, he turned the corner at the west end of the garden and start up a row. She would sing, picking peas, putting them in my pail. He would sing, picking peas, land on my knees. After a while, little girl got to feeling like somebody was following her, said to herself, I think I'm going to cut my song off right short and see what I hear. So she did. Picking peas, putting them in my... She listened and heard, land on my knees. Little girl said, aha, I do believe that pesky rabbit is in my garden. I do believe he's following me. I do believe he's picking my peas. She thought a minute. I do believe if I turn back around the end of this row, I can catch him. Little girl started tiptoeing back up the row she'd already picked. There was Mr. Rabbit hopping along down at the end of that row, singing that song. Picking peas, land on my knees. She crept up behind him real quiet. He was still singing. Picking peas, land on my knees. She reached out and he was still singing. Picking peas, land on my... Whoop! She caught him. Said, Mr. Rabbit, what's that you singing just now? Mr. Rabbit scrunched up and said, I was singing, digging up roots, land on my foods. That's not what you were singing. And she squeezed him harder. What were you singing? Ooh, he said in his little squeaky voice. I was singing, picking peas, land on my knees. That's what I thought you were singing, said little girl. You were eating my peas, weren't you? Maybe. Well, you won't pick my peas anymore. I'm going to take you home, put you in a box, and keep you there till pea picking season is over. She took that rabbit home, put him in a box, shut the lid down real tight, cooked up a mess of peas, and ate them all up. That was good. Then little girl heard Mr. Rabbit hopping around inside that box. He was singing, picking peas, land on my knees. Mr. Rabbit, what's that you're doing in there? Trying to dance. But it's too crowded in here. Take me out and put me on top of the box and I'll dance and entertain you. Let me see that. She took him out and put him on top of the box. And he began to dance and sing, picking peas, land on my knees. Heard my mama calling me right over there. Every time he sang right over there, he gave a little jump to the right. That's good dancing, said little girl. Put me on top of that big chest by the window, and I could dance even better, said Mr. Rabbit. Well, little girl put him on the big chest by the window, and Mr. Rabbit started really cutting up. Picking peas, laying on my knees. Heard my mama calling me right over there. Little girl was clapping and laughing. I love your dancing, Mr. Rabbit. Put me on that windowsill and I could really dance, said Mr. Rabbit. So little girl picked him up, set him down on that broad windowsill by the open window. Mr. Rabbit was jumping up and down, kicking up his heels. Pickin' peas, land on my knees. When he got to the end, he gave one tremendous leap. Heard my mama calling me right over there. And out the window he went. Mr. Rabbit ran off through the garden calling, pick your peas, landing on my knees. I'm gonna eat all the walk, 'cause you can't catch me. I'd like to say that's the last little girl saw of Mr. Rabbit, but I'm afraid he was right back there the next morning, picking peas and landing on his knees. And that's the end of Pickin' Peas, laying on my knees. Pickin' Peas by Margaret READ MacDonald. Look forward to seeing you again. Thanks for watching Storytime with Ms. Literacy. And we are celebrating 28 years with Ms. Literacy. Ms. Literacy signing out.